For 28 years, Kiri Barfoot has guided our company as a dedicated director, leaving indelible mark on our organization and the broader real estate landscape. Today we meet and bid farewell to Kiri Barfoot, a visionary with passion for people and unwavering enthusiasm that will leave an impact on us all. Thank you, Kiri, for joining us today.
You're welcome. Great to be here.
Thank you. It's right to say first female director that Barfoot and Thompson had?
That's right. The first female director, but not the first Barfoot female to pass her real estate license. That was my grandmother back in the 1920s.
And that's the beauty of Barfoot and Thompson, such a rich history. Every time we sit with you, Stephen or Peter, there's so much to learn. So thank you always for sharing that. How was it for you? Did you had to make any changes to the culture or the whole environment? Did it change when we had the first female director?
Well, good question. I think as the first female director, you probably don't realise your impact that you have on other people. And like I didn't come from a family where my mum had a traditional role. Like my mum was a doctor and dad was a real estate agent. So mum actually earned more money than dad as a part-time doctor, anaesthetist. So I didn't think being a woman was anything different or special or anything, right? And then it wasn't until you go to management meetings and you're looking around going, oh, there's not many women here, right? So that's when you sort of feel, because as a salesperson, it was more 50-50. Like in the team, there's more 50-50 male, females, and that's probably been the case ever since I've been in real estate. It wasn't the case in the 60s and 70s, but definitely from the 90s onwards, it was more women coming in. So it wasn't until I got to management, you're like, oh, yeah, there's definitely a lot less females here. So, and you notice things the guys don't notice, like when we were doing the auction rooms downstairs, I was like, I noticed families would come in or people would come in with their babies, and you're thinking, because at that stage I had a young family, where is the nappy changing room for in the auction bathroom, right? Yeah. And yet the men wouldn't think of that because they didn't. Men of that generation didn't change nappies. Like I think men now of new generations do change nappies, but so it's things like that men don't even think about. That you, as a woman, you go, well, where is it? And you get it done. Yeah.
One of your notable achievements was transitioning the company from focus on rentals to a property management business. Can you share some of the insights into challenges you faced during that transition?
Yeah, like so property management was called rentals, right, for a start, and rentals is sort of like a car company, right? I go on holiday, I get a rental car, and there was the initial challenge, or even a challenge of changing the name from rentals to property management. People don't like change, right? So it's always like, well, this is why we're doing it. If you actually, at that point, it was like, this was 15 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. If you Google, if you just put rentals in the search engine, you'd get car hire companies. So I'm like, well, if you looked overseas, you could see that property management was the modern day word. And it just sounds more appealing if you're trying to attract and retain talented people, that for people to say I'm in rentals versus I'm in property management. I think that word management holds a lot more weight and a bit more importance. I'm a property manager versus I'm a rental person is just a bit more significant and powerful. And because it is such a significant and powerful part of the business, because I think people think, oh, it's just you're just collecting rent, but it's way more than collecting rent. It's yes, collecting rent is a good thing, but it's also about managing people, dealing with property, dealing with difficult people, conflict, negotiation. Like there's so many different aspects to that role, and also the importance that it's a great part of the business in terms of cash flow.
That leads us to the next question. What initiatives and milestones in sustainability are you most proud of for Barfoot & Thompson? And what are your future plans for sustainability efforts?
Well, we've measured our carbon footprint, okay, which I think a lot of companies haven't even done. I think it's really important to, because what you measure you can manage, but if you don't even know where you are how can you get to where you want to go, right? So you've got to have a line in the sand where you are. So we measured our carbon footprint, and so we know the big emissions are from our cars and from our electricity. So that's what we're focusing on. It's the longer term focus, because that does require quite a bit of investment to get there. Short term, we've reduced our paper. Like, for example, our finance department is paperless. We've reduced. We used to have these couriers that would go to every single branch, like 70 plus branch. They'd pick up that blue bag and drive it out there and back every day. So we've now reduced those couriers by 80%. So that's a lot of emissions that aren't happening. We've introduced things like DocuSign. Even before the lockdown, we had DocuSign. We've got online auctions now, so that people don't necessarily have to go all the way into town or to Highbrook or wherever to watch auctions. They can do a lot more online. So all those initiatives kind of almost happened before we had to do them, right? So and other things, we're working on a lot of other things, like just in the offices. When we own a lot of our offices, so whenever we fit them out, we put in LED lighting. We tell them timers, a lot better insulation, better windows, all that sort of sustainable products that last longer and are more energy efficient, because energy is one of our big emissions.
You expressed that what you will miss most about your time at Barfoot & Thompson is the people and the energy they bring. Can you recall a moment or interaction with a team member that had a deep impact on your leadership style?
I think what I've learned from people is you've got to have a real get up and go. You've got to ask for something. If you don't ask, you don't get. And you don't have to be a super amazing extrovert person. You can be like a bit of an introvert like me. But if you want something, there's ways of asking for it. And sometimes you don't get it straight away. And you might have to ask more than once, or you might have to go a different way, or ask in a different way. But if you ask for something and you really are passionate about that, hopefully you'll get what you want. So I guess it's about don't really, and the second one is really focus on what you want. Like if you really want something, you write it down, you share, you tell people. You might have a vision board. Real estate's like a recipe, right? Like it's not that difficult if you just have systems and processes in place and follow them religiously, and do the things that nobody else wants to do. Everyone knows what to do, right?
Yeah.
But it's the difference between people who make it and people who don't make it are the ones that do it.
I guess most of the people who will hear this video, the most intriguing question for them would be, what's next for Kiri?
What's next? How long have you got?
Season 1, season 2.
So for this year I'm going to go. I've booked a cycling trip in France. Going to follow the Tour de France around. So we're going to cycle up Alps d'Huez and Mount Ventoux, and a lot of road bike cycling. And then I'm coming home and going to go down to the south.
Same Tour de France.
Yeah, I'm pretty much doing the same Tour de France. I might miss out a few mountains, but the same roads. So that'd be amazing. That was booked in 2020, so
Wow.
it'd be great to do it. It was meant to be in 2020, so been a long time coming. And then come back to New Zealand and going to go down to the South Island. And I'm still working on my ski instructor's course.
Sure.
I failed it once and I failed it twice.
Sure.
So I'm getting better, but I need to learn to carve better, to ski better, so I can be a ski instructor. As a bit of fun, I thought it would be quite rewarding. Learn to ski better, but also teach people, like help people. I think it's really important. For me, I get a lot of satisfaction from helping people.
No, I think that's such a great note to sort of finishing this chapter and opening the new chapter in your life. And we wish you all the very best on achieving all the success and carving all the
slopes.
You might see us over there.
Yeah.
Try to get
Oh, you're welcome. If anybody wants some ski lessons, look me up.
so much for your time.
Okay.
And we wish you all the very best.
Thank you. Thank you, Robbie. Thank you, Vish.
Thank you, Kiri.
It's been a pleasure.
Great.